No one saw this coming. For years, the global auto industry has been locked in an all-out EV race. Bigger batteries, faster charging, longer range. Every major automaker was fighting the same battle, convinced electric vehicles would define the future. Then, almost overnight, everything changed. BYD stepped onto the stage and unveiled what could become the biggest disruption the automotive world has seen in years. A mass-market hydrogen combustion vehicle at a price point few believed was possible. No leaks, no rumors, no months of speculation, just one announcement that sent shockwaves through the entire industry. If BYD's claims hold up, this isn't just another new car. It's a direct challenge to battery EVs, traditional gasoline engines, and the strategies of some of the world's biggest automakers. Suddenly, the conversation isn't just about charging stations anymore, it's about whether the future of clean transportation has been rewritten. So how did BYD pull this off? What technology is hiding under the hood? And why are competitors scrambling to respond? Before we uncover the full story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we break down the biggest technology and automotive stories with facts, context, and details you won't want to miss. Let's get into it. At the center of BYD's announcement is a completely new approach to hydrogen combustion technology. According to BYD, the secret lies in an advanced dual-stage hydrogen injection system designed to extract significantly more energy from every gram of hydrogen than earlier combustion designs. Combined with lightweight engineering materials that reduce engine weight compared with conventional internal combustion engines, the result is a powertrain that feels less like an experimental prototype and more like a mature, performance-focused product. The company also tackled one of hydrogen combustion's biggest engineering challenges: thermal efficiency. A dedicated cooling system helps regulate operating temperatures, allowing the engine to deliver stable performance, whether it's stuck in scorching summer traffic or cruising through freezing winter conditions. Instead of harmful exhaust gases, the primary byproduct is water vapor, making the vehicle far cleaner than traditional gasoline-powered cars. Performance isn't driven by the combustion engine alone. BYD pairs it with an electric fuel cell assistance system that provides instant torque when accelerating, while the hydrogen engine handles the majority of the work during highway driving. The combination aims to deliver both responsiveness and long-distance efficiency. For years, hydrogen vehicles have remained a niche product. Models like the Toyota Mirai and Hyundai Nexo demonstrated impressive engineering, but their premium pricing kept them out of reach for most buyers. BYD is attempting to change that equation by bringing hydrogen technology into a much more affordable segment, potentially opening the market to a far wider audience. A major reason is manufacturing scale. The company plans to rely on its large production facilities to manufacture these vehicles efficiently, helping reduce costs in ways many competitors may struggle to match. Safety has also been a major focus. BYD says its hydrogen storage tanks were developed specifically for this platform and engineered to meet demanding international crash and pressure standards, giving drivers greater confidence in the technology. Refueling could become another major advantage. Instead of waiting for lengthy charging sessions, filling the hydrogen tank reportedly takes only a few minutes, while offering a driving range comparable to, or even greater than, many premium electric vehicles. For drivers who regularly travel long distances, that's an attractive proposition. When you compare the overall package, the competitive pressure becomes obvious. If BYD's pricing and performance targets are achieved, buyers could get longer range, dramatically faster refueling, and a significantly lower purchase price than previous hydrogen-powered vehicles. Whether you're an everyday commuter, a commercial fleet operator, or simply someone who enjoys automotive innovation, it's clear that this approach has the potential to reshape the conversation. But BYD understands that even the best vehicle is only as useful as the infrastructure supporting it. That's where hydrogen projects have struggled for years. Instead of waiting for someone else to solve that problem, the company is investing directly in the solution. Working alongside one of China's largest state-owned energy companies, BYD plans to support the rollout of an extensive hydrogen refueling network over the coming years. Rather than building isolated demonstration stations, the goal is to create connected fueling corridors that make long-distance travel practical across multiple regions. The strategy goes even further. Many of these stations are expected to generate hydrogen using renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. Electricity from these facilities can drive electrolysis systems that separate hydrogen from water directly on site, reducing transportation costs while lowering the overall environmental impact compared with hydrogen produced from fossil fuels. BYD is also exploring modular hydrogen cartridges, replaceable storage units that could be delivered, swapped, and installed without requiring a traditional fueling station. If successful, this concept could benefit rural communities, industrial operations, agricultural businesses, and commercial fleets operating far from major cities. The company intends to begin deployment in regions where adoption is most likely to accelerate, including major economic centers with strong government support and high transportation demand. Inside the automotive industry, the announcement immediately captured attention. Automakers that have spent years developing hydrogen technology suddenly face the possibility of competing against a company offering a far more affordable alternative. European manufacturers are also watching closely as they continue expanding hydrogen infrastructure across the continent, while companies focused primarily on battery electric vehicles are evaluating how faster refueling could influence future commercial transportation. The ripple effects extend well beyond vehicle manufacturers. Energy companies, mining businesses supplying battery materials, and countless suppliers throughout the automotive sector are all monitoring how quickly hydrogen technology develops, knowing that widespread adoption could reshape long-established markets. Perhaps BYD's greatest advantage isn't just the technology itself, it's the business model behind it. The company controls much of its own production, manufacturing key components internally instead of depending heavily on outside suppliers. That level of vertical integration allows tighter quality control, lower production costs, and greater flexibility as new technologies move toward large-scale production. One of BYD's biggest advantages reportedly comes from securing long-term hydrogen supply agreements at exceptionally competitive prices. If those deals remain in place, fuel costs could rival, or in some regions even undercut, the cost of gasoline over the next several years. Government support adds another layer to the equation. Generous incentives for early hydrogen vehicle buyers help reduce the purchase price, making the vehicle's surprisingly affordable sticker price far easier to understand. Manufacturing strategy plays an equally important role. By sourcing most components within China, BYD avoids many of the import costs that foreign automakers face. That combination of lower production expenses at home and stronger profit potential overseas gives the company a significant competitive edge. The global rollout is already taking shape. Southeast Asia appears to be the first target thanks to expanding cities, growing demand for cleaner transportation, and favorable trade relationships. Europe is expected to follow, where governments continue investing heavily in hydrogen despite a limited supply of locally produced hydrogen-powered passenger vehicles. For automotive enthusiasts, this represents an exciting new chapter in performance engineering. For industry analysts, it's a case study in manufacturing efficiency and supply chain strategy. And for everyday consumers, hydrogen technology is beginning to feel less like an experimental idea and more like a realistic option for the family garage. The performance figures only add to the excitement. According to BYD's specifications, the vehicle can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 8 seconds, quick enough to compete with many sporty sedans and well-matched gasoline crossovers. Top speed has been electronically limited to prioritize efficiency while still providing confident highway performance. Real-world durability has also been a major focus. Prototype vehicles reportedly completed winter testing in some of China's harshest cold weather environments, where freezing temperatures challenge both electric and hydrogen-powered systems. Even under extreme conditions, the vehicles were designed to start immediately without the delays often associated with severe cold. The hybrid fuel cell assistance system delivers extra torque when climbing steep grades or accelerating under load, giving the vehicle pulling power that rivals much larger diesel SUVs. At the same time, power delivery remains remarkably smooth and quiet, creating a driving experience that feels refined rather than mechanical. But the impact of this technology extends well beyond driving performance. If hydrogen-powered transportation expands at scale, it could reduce dependence on imported oil while supporting broader environmental goals. That makes it more than an automotive innovation. It becomes part of a larger energy and economic strategy. Success could also reshape global markets. Countries that have long depended on exporting crude oil may eventually face growing competition from nations investing heavily in alternative energy systems. At the same time, BYD's research in hydrogen injection, storage technology, and hybrid integration could become valuable intellectual property, opening opportunities to license its technology to manufacturers around the world. Governments outside China are watching closely as well. Regions investing in clean transportation may accelerate hydrogen infrastructure projects if affordable vehicles become widely available, ensuring they don't fall behind in the next phase of automotive development. For drivers, however, the biggest benefits are much simpler. Instead of spending extended periods connected to a charger, hydrogen refueling can be completed in just a few minutes before the vehicle is ready for hundreds of miles of additional driving. That convenience alone addresses one of the biggest concerns many people still have about electric transportation. Hydrogen also offers a different supply chain model. Unlike battery production, which relies heavily on minerals such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel, hydrogen-powered vehicles reduce dependence on those materials, potentially insulating the industry from mining disruptions and volatile raw material prices. There is another advantage that often receives less attention: energy storage. Large-scale EV charging places significant demand on electrical grids during peak usage hours. Hydrogen, by contrast, can be produced when renewable electricity is abundant, stored for long periods, and distributed whenever demand rises. Excess solar generation during the day or surplus wind power overnight can effectively be captured instead of wasted. That flexibility could prove especially valuable in areas where electricity infrastructure remains limited. Remote communities, mining operations, islands, and rural regions could generate hydrogen locally using renewable energy, providing transportation without relying on a large centralized power network. Viewed from every angle, engineering, infrastructure, energy, and geopolitics, this is much more than another vehicle launch. It's an attempt to rethink how transportation fits into the broader energy ecosystem. The goal isn't simply to introduce a different kind of car, but to challenge assumptions about fuel, manufacturing, and the future of mobility itself. And when the public finally saw the announcement, the response was immediate. The first day generated enormous attention, with reservation numbers climbing rapidly across China. Interest wasn't limited to technology enthusiasts or early adopters. Commercial operators, taxi services, and ride-hailing companies quickly recognized the potential value of a vehicle capable of traveling long distances while returning to service after only a brief refueling stop. For businesses where every minute of downtime matters, that combination could become a major competitive advantage. For commercial drivers, every minute spent waiting is money lost. A vehicle that can be refueled in just a few minutes means more trips completed, more passengers served, and ultimately higher daily earnings. That's exactly why fleet operators have been paying such close attention. The excitement isn't limited to big cities either. In rural communities, where installing high-speed EV chargers can be difficult or unrealistic, BYD's concept of portable hydrogen storage has attracted serious interest. Farmers and agricultural businesses see the possibility of storing clean fuel on their own property and using it not only for pickups, but also for tractors, farm equipment, and backup generators, all without relying on diesel. As the announcement spread, many automotive journalists searched for a historical comparison. Online, however, one analogy kept appearing over and over again. People compared this moment to the arrival of the Ford Model T. Just as Ford transformed the automobile from a luxury item into something ordinary families could afford, many believe BYD is attempting to do the same for hydrogen-powered transportation. The attention quickly expanded beyond China. Fleet operators in countries like Japan and the United Arab Emirates reportedly expressed strong interest. Japan has spent years investing in hydrogen as part of its transportation strategy, making the technology a natural fit. In the UAE, hydrogen offers another pathway toward cleaner mobility while supporting long-term sustainability goals alongside existing energy resources. But despite all the excitement, there are still significant challenges standing in the way. The biggest obstacle remains infrastructure. Outside Asia, public hydrogen refueling stations are still relatively scarce. In the United States, availability is limited to only a few regions, while across Europe, the network is concentrated in a small number of countries. Without widespread fueling stations, expanding hydrogen vehicles globally becomes much more difficult. Maintenance is another hurdle. Although modern high-pressure hydrogen storage systems are engineered with safety in mind, servicing them requires specialized equipment and trained technicians, resources that many repair shops still lack. Then comes the environmental question. Worldwide, much of today's hydrogen is still produced using natural gas rather than renewable energy. That means the environmental benefits depend heavily on how the hydrogen itself is made. BYD's strategy emphasizes green hydrogen produced from renewable sources, but replicating that model internationally will require major investments in clean energy infrastructure. Public perception also remains a challenge. Many consumers, particularly in Western markets, continue to associate hydrogen with outdated safety concerns. Modern hydrogen systems have advanced dramatically, but changing decades of public opinion takes time, education, and real-world experience. Competition won't stand still either. Companies like Toyota and Hyundai have spent years developing hydrogen technology and possess the engineering expertise, manufacturing capacity, and financial resources to respond quickly. If they introduce improved systems of their own, the competition could rapidly evolve into another intense technology race. Even so, BYD appears to be thinking far beyond a single passenger vehicle. Its hydrogen platform is designed with scalability in mind. Future applications could include city buses, long-distance freight trucks, and even railway locomotives. Transport sectors where the size and weight of battery packs continue to present major engineering challenges. For heavy-duty transportation covering hundreds or thousands of miles, hydrogen may prove to be a compelling alternative. The company's ambitions also extend beyond transportation itself. China has been exploring partnerships with developing nations across Africa and South America, where hydrogen infrastructure could become part of broader economic cooperation. Instead of exporting only vehicles, companies like BYD could eventually provide complete hydrogen ecosystems, including production, storage, fueling stations, and supporting technology. That approach could help emerging economies modernize their transportation networks while creating long-term business opportunities. Government policy may also play an increasingly important role. If hydrogen-powered vehicles receive broader recognition alongside battery electric vehicles in future emissions regulations, buyers could benefit from additional incentives, tax advantages, and investment in supporting infrastructure. Because of that possibility, many industry observers believe the current moment represents more than just another vehicle launch. A comparison that frequently appears is Apple's impact on the smartphone industry. Apple wasn't the first company to build a smartphone, but it reshaped the market by making the technology far more appealing to everyday consumers. Supporters argue that BYD is attempting something similar, taking an existing technology and combining affordability, manufacturing scale, and infrastructure planning into a package that feels practical instead of experimental. This may not be the world's first hydrogen-powered vehicle, but it could become one of the first that ordinary buyers can realistically picture owning. The answer could shape far more than the next generation of cars. It may influence how countries produce energy, how freight moves across continents, and how transportation evolves for decades to come.